What is up? Oh, it's so nice. Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte. We are here live at the Build Studio in New York City. Folks, I am so very excited, not just because of my next guests, who are admittedly very awesome, but because tonight, the highly anticipated 2-hour premiere of Marvel's Cloak and Dagger hits freeform at 8, and I'll finally be able to talk to people about it. Guys, it is so good. The show follows Tandy and Tyrone, two teenagers from very different backgrounds, who, when serendipitously reunited years after unrelated traumatic life-changing events, find themselves shaken and awakened to previously unknown superpowers, which are mysteriously linked to one another. This show gets everything right, man. It's the perfect balance of high drama and high concept sci-fi with that little bit of Marvel magic sprinkled on top. And a large part of what makes this show just so good is the fantastic work of our next guest. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could believe it, here to tell us all about just how they did it, the stars of Marvel's Cloak and Dagger, Tandy and Tyrone themselves, Olivia, Holt, and Aubrey Joseph are in the house. How about that? Huh? Oh, man. It's exciting. Now, before we bring them out, I believe we've got a trailer for the show, so we're going to take a look at that. Luke, let's go ahead and run that clip.
Hey.
What are you doing here?
I need answers.
Close your eyes. This is the place where anything is possible. You want power? You want to be a god? Right through that door.
A crisis is coming. And it is close.
Every time the city's been struck with a catastrophe, it's always come down to the divine pairing. It's always true. It's on you to go up against it. But in the process, one of you is going to die.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that last part?
You and I are connected.
Assess our limits.
I know who you are.
We need to get out of here. Stop!
Hold my hand. We'll show these assholes a divine pairing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want a ridiculous amount of noise for Olivia, Holt, and Aubrey Joseph right now. Ridiculous. There it is.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Man, I love this show, guys. Congratulations and good job, honestly. Congrats.
Thank you.
Not easy to make a great television period, much less something like this. You guys, you really pull it off. We're going to talk all about it. I'm excited to get into it. Before we go any further, how are you doing? I imagine press has been grueling. This is Marvel. How are you holding up? How's it going?
I mean, this whole experience has been so surreal for the both of us. I mean, we're both very grateful. It's been a very long month of just gearing up for this day, but you know, we're excited and we're happy to be here and to finally put it out in the world for everybody to see.
That's just it, right? Like this thing finally, tonight's the night. It's no longer your thing. It belongs to the fans now. They get to see it.
Yeah.
That is exciting, right? Going into that nervous, exciting, all of that.
Yeah, we're feeling a lot of feelings at the moment.
A lot of feelings, Jay.
Yeah, there's a lot happening.
You know, it's so funny. We talk about this a lot on the stage. Like, you know, for all the training and preparation you do as an actor, there's never really a class coming up about like this part of the process, answering the questions, all that stuff. But I would imagine when you become part of the Marvel family, there's got to be like an orientation day where they like talk to you about how to talk about your show.
Dude, I wish. No, well, okay, yeah. No, we did definitely get. We've gotten like 500 calls and emails being like, you cannot discuss A, B, and C, nor. Yeah, it's intense. It's very.
I wish I had some type of training. You know, this is like my first time doing a press run and stuff. So I've just been learning from Liv and just taking it in. It's actually a lot of fun.
I'm not good at this. I don't know what he's learning. So.
You know, it's great when you just have a great show that you're just really excited to talk about, and you know, I just can't wait for you guys to see it.
That makes it easier, right? To feel good about what you made, knowing that it's a good thing, and getting out there to share it. I saw you guys were at, I want to say it was like WonderCon or something.
Yeah.
Are you doing a lot of the, you're going to be at Comic-Con, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Did you ever do those things before, like on the other side? Like, were you ever there as a fan before? Did you ever check them out?
I've never been to any of
Yeah.
the cons.
Yeah, WonderCon was like my first con ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that experience like, being on that side of the panel and all that?
Dude, it was so intense.
It's crazy, right?
We have never, like, the fans, especially from Marvel anyway. I mean, we both grew up, Marvel fans going to the movies and being, Marvel fans of, the superheroes and in the films, but this is like a whole new experience. We're
Next level.
next level for sure, yeah. And the fans are so loyal, and like, it's a whole new game. And
Yeah. And that extends to the entire experience, I'm sure. Like,
Right, yeah.
Everybody that's in a Marvel thing comes in here and has some crazy audition story and whatnot of the process. What was different for you as an actor, like of this process? Let's start at the beginning, getting into it, the audition and all that. What was different about it than maybe stuff you've worked on before, or auditioned for before?
I mean, first off, you're not really given a lot of material.
Yeah, that's the common thing.
Yeah, that's. I
Nobody
mean,
really knows what they're doing.
yeah, it's you're basically given. I mean, we got about two scenes.
Yeah, we got a couple scenes, but everything was like under secretive.
Right.
It's Marvel, so everything
Right.
has to be a little tight end. And but our audition, I mean, we both had separate auditions, but we went in for the chemistry read. Our chemistry testing was about 6 hours long. No. And it was a Friday night. I'm like, y'all.
That's cold. Make you do that on
To be
Friday
here.
night.
But it was really epic. Even though it was a very long process, when Aubrey and I both went into the room, we had a scene that we had together, but the director of our first episode, Gina Prince Bythewood, who is one of our favorite humans on earth and is just a mega legend, she pulled a little fast one on us, and she had us do an improv scene for her, Jeff Loeb, head of Marvel TV, and Joe Pikaski, our showrunner, and a bunch of other amazing people from the Freeform and Marvel team. And it was, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just magic. We sat there and we did an improv scene based on, our two characters and their backgrounds, and we just sort of rolled with it and winged it. And by the end of the scene, both Aubrey and I were in tears, and the rest of the room were just like gasping for it. It's one of those moments where you just sort of, you leave the room and you feel confident and proud of what you did. Whether we got the parts or not, we just felt really grateful for that experience. And
That's pretty wild. So wait, were you improvising for not the entire 6 hours? Were you? Or
no,
were you
oh God,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
oh
no,
my
no, no.
God.
Whoa.
Yeah.
If we had to,
That's wild. I was sitting
That
here
would
trying to
be-
process
No.
that.
that would be impressive.
Yeah, that's
Um,
very impressive.
Yeah, we basically, it was just when we got to that moment after we had basically read with all the other actors. They they basically just brought us in and told us, like, go to work, like, and we were both convinced that, we were actually doing a full-on speech, or full-on monologue or a scene, but
Our dialogue just flowed so organically.
Yeah.
And I think, both of us, not even knowing very much about the show or the material that was going to be happening within this first season, I think both Aubrey and I just felt passionate about these
Right.
two characters, even knowing very little about it. And
That's
yeah.
one of the things that's so much fun about watching you guys, is there is just this thing, like your chemistry on screen and as these characters. It's one of those things that it's either there or it's not, and you guys have it so naturally and so effortlessly.
You can't
and
force
it's
it.
beautiful. No, it really is. The 6 hour thing is wild. I'm that maybe it is forged in that high pressure scenario, but I think you guys really connected. I'm curious. So, like, whenever somebody says improv, you think of, like, okay, choose a place and where they were. Like, the dramatic improv is something that is very foreign to me. What was the setup for you guys, like, for that improv scene? Like, how did they kick things off for you? What did they tell you going into the room?
Well, Gina brought you out into the hallway, and
she was basically telling me that, all right, you're going to go in to the room. Liv is going to do a monologue that she's been working on the whole day. Just improvise and make a scene with her.
it was
That's
a
what
lie.
they
I had
told me.
no monologue prepared.
Yeah.
Then she brought him into the room, pulled me out in the hallway, told me the exact same thing, but vice versa.
Yep.
And so both Aubrey and I are walking in there being like, okay, like
Like,
obviously the other actor, we don't even barely know each other at this point.
Exactly.
ever.
So-
So we're like, okay, the other actor obviously has something prepared, so I'll just sort of like riff off of like what they're doing. And we just riffed off of whatever we did in there, and it was weird because it was a very present moment, and I feel like it's very rare too, having that like organic chemistry with somebody who you you don't know anything about. You've just met them, and it's very unique and special. So
It is diabolical
Yeah.
genius level stuff.
yeah,
it's
we
meant
always
to be.
look out for that one.
Other
Yeah.
person's got this on lock. You just follow their lead. And like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's amazing. I guess it's brilliant too, though, because it kind of puts you at ease. Like you said, it allows you to kind of open yourself up because you think to yourself, all right, well, this person, I'm just going to respond.
Yeah, well, at this
Yeah.
point, you're not really focusing on like the lines or like trying to like force a scene that you've been working on for however many hours or days you've had the material for. At this point, it's literally just you and the other actor, just like being in that moment. And yeah, and I think that point. At that point, that's where we felt just so, confident and proud of like what we just did in that room. And then a couple days later, we got the call saying we got the parts. And then shortly after that, we saw each other at the airport for the first time since the audition to head to New Orleans. And I was like, hey. And he was like, hey. Yeah, it was rad. Yeah.
I guess we're a part of this family now.
Yeah.
What was it? Where were you when you got the call?
I was asleep.
You were asleep?
The call woke me up. I was sleeping in my dorm room, and basically I knew the call was gonna come if I got it. So the night before, I basically didn't get any sleep at all. I was just like staring at the ceiling, like, God, I hope that something comes out of this, And literally, I woke up to the call that I was waiting to wake up to. So I basically just geeked out. You know what I mean? This is so huge. You know what I mean? It's the perfect situation. You're on a Marvel show with superpowers, and it's this fantasy world, but it's also a show that has such a great agenda and is trying to push the culture forward. So it's the perfect situation, literally. Yeah.
I was asleep too. We're super fun to hang out with, by the way. I don't know if you know this.
We're your grandparents.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah, we're the worst millennials of all time. Yeah, I was asleep too. I was in Florida. I was in Orlando. I was working at the Pro Bowl at the time that weekend, and right before I was leaving for the stadium, I was asleep, and I got a call from my team saying I got the part, and it was pretty special. And then we both got a call from Joe Pekaski and Jeff Loeb, and Jeff said 3 really cool words to both of us, and he said, I have 3 words for you that's going to change your life forever, and that's welcome to Marvel. And yeah,
Chills.
I know, I still get chills. Still, yeah, I know. It's
There were
pretty,
gasps in the room.
Yeah, it was pretty epic, and still to this day, that just is a moment, that's so special to both of us, and it's so surreal that we're even
Finally
here.
feels real because
Yeah.
it's June 7th.
I know.
Finally.
I know. Yeah.
It's here.
Can you imagine how joyful his life must be that he just gets to make those phone calls every
Yeah,
once
he's
in a
like,
while?
Hey, welcome to Marvel.
I'm just
Changing lives.
give me a
left
minute.
and
At
right.
3 o'clock, I gotta change 3 lives. I'll be back. I just gotta go alter reality for 3 people
Right.
forever, and then I'll come have a sandwich. Like, it's so crazy, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. You mentioned it is a superhero show, but one of the things that this show does so well, one is, yeah, you're right, it's pushing the culture forward with what the story it's telling, and also it is so fantastically grounded in reality. It feels real. Your responses, your performances feel real, and that's the thing. Like, a huge part of that is, of course, in the writing, but I think an even bigger part of that is how you guys play these roles and inhabit these characters and tell these stories. I'm curious of how you prepared for that, how you prepared to maintain that level of reality and keep this fantastic story feeling like a real experience, something that we could connect to and actually sit back and go, yeah, I think I would do that if my hand was glowing and emitting a dagger made of light. That's what I would do. Like, how did you get ready for that?
Well, I mean, Gina really set the tone for us, and she really let us know, early on that it was really about the characters, and just the reality of the characters, because it was really like her agenda as well, just to have a Marvel show with a different feel. And I just feel like we are definitely not only one of the most grounded Marvel shows, but just one of the most grounded shows on television. We don't shy away from anything, really, and I feel like that's what TV needs right now. I feel like we want to see real shit that we go through, and so it's just a blessing to be a part of a show like that, and have Marvel attached to it, and so.
Yeah, it was really fascinating. I mean, I almost feel like Joe, when he wrote this, he sort of saw the future in a way, because
Right.
there's so many current themes that are happening right now in this show. I mean, we focus. There's so many layers and so many things that are like current themes. Like, we're focusing on police brutality and sexual assault, addiction, homelessness. I mean, you name it. Like, we're talking about it because it's an open dialogue, right? We want to have a conversation about it. We don't want it to be something that is glamorized or sugar-coated in any sort of way, because this is reality. And these are two very damaged souls. They're young kids who have dealt with so much, and on top of that, they have these powers that they just developed out of nowhere. So, they're going through a lot, and I think it's really important to tell an honest story about what it's like to be a young female in America in 2018 and what it's like to be a young black male in America in 2018. And I know both Aubrey and I feel really lucky to be able to portray these two characters. The research that went into all of this was pretty intense. I mean, there were a lot of things that we weren't fully aware about, and as we were filming the first season, so much in society was going down. I mean, from Time's Up to Me Too to the March for Our Lives, I mean, there was so many things that were going down. And so we were in a very interesting headspace and had a lot of perspective as all of this was happening. So I think it's just another way, like Aubrey said, to push the culture forward. And so, the response that we've gotten without the show being out so far has been very positive.
Was that something that you guys would have conversations about on set? Like, as these major world events were happening, as these major movements were taking place, would you take time before even getting in front of the cameras to sit down and kind of discuss just sort of the relevancy of that and how it relates to what you guys were doing? Even if it wasn't an official conversation, you would just have asides here and there and be like, this is crazy how this informs this.
Absolutely. There's a scene. Actually, not even just a scene. The whole episode is there's an episode 4. It's actually Aubrey and I's favorite episode. Well, it's mine. I just put that in your mouth. I don't know if it's yours. I just made that up. But there's a scene where both Aubrey and I are passionately talking about privilege. And I remember at the end of that day, both of us were so just heated from that scene, and we were just in a very emotional headspace. And it was interesting because that energy reflected on the crew as well. And I just remember all of us just took a deep breath afterwards, because it's a conversation that you don't see happening, and you especially don't see that happening with 2 young kids. And so that was a really interesting experience, and I know that was both really important to us to be able to have that conversation and to sort of open up that space, not just for Tandy and Tyrone, but for everybody else in the world.
Well, I mean, it shows that you guys were putting all of this heart into it and putting all of this mindfulness into it, because one of the things that's also really hard for a hero-centric show to do is kind of take its time getting to the costume moment, as it were, like the big reveal, like the final arrival of Cloak and Dagger and all that. And like Daredevil did that really well. We didn't get that for a while, and you guys do that phenomenally well. And I think the reason it works so well is because the story is so rich, and what you guys are telling and how you're telling it is so interesting and fun to watch and exciting to see and watch and enjoy. I want to ask you, because we're running out of time, and I want to get to audience Q&A and stuff as well. This is going to start as a scary Marvel question, but trust me, you can give an answer to it, okay? So, big movie happened this summer. There's a big moment in Infinity Wars in the comics. Cloak actually plays a pretty phenomenal role in exacting revenge. I'm sure you know. You've done your research. There's no precedent beyond Coulson for on-screen cameos, really, between TV and film yet. So I'm not going to go there. But what I do want to know is, you're part of the Marvel family. Has there been behind-the-scenes stuff? Have you met some of the other royal family, as it were, yet? Have you had a chance to meet any other Marvel people, talk to them about this crazy world and what you guys are now a part of? Has that happened yet? What's that been like?
We most certainly have. We actually got to sit down with Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther himself.
Yeah.
That was pretty epic. I was not okay. I was not. No. You don't understand. I'm actually gonna keep my chill, because he might see this. He actually probably.
He watches.
But it's fine.
He's a big fan of the show.
Listen, I was fangirling mad hard. I love him. And he's been a fan of Cloak and Dagger. So he's like, he even told us, he was like, I've been waiting for this to actually become, something, a show or whatever. Like, I just wanted this to become a live action, because he was like, I'm very excited to see. And he even told us, he was like, just from, the bits and pieces of what I've seen just within, the trailers and everything, he goes, it looks very, it is, you know, in this superhero realm, but you guys keep it on a very humane level, which is amazing and very authentic and organic and special. So yeah, he was pretty rad, and you guys hit it off very well, and I'm kind of bitter because I don't think he hit it off with me, but it's fine.
I'm surprised you're able to retain that much of a memory from that moment. Like, it's just recalling all of that is
was.
I know, yeah.
It was a big moment for us, really. Yeah. It was, I mean, just being in the same room with him, you know, to me, it was just crazy. And it just made everything feel real. Like, we're really a part of this Marvel universe. And you know, he's a fellow Marvelite. It's crazy, you know?
Is that the term, Marvelite?
Did I just create that? I hope I didn't just create that. I thought that was a thing.
No, maybe, you know what? I don't know everything. Maybe it is. I really enjoyed that term. I didn't know if that was it.
Yeah, but no, it was very dope to meet him, and yeah, I'm glad that he took the time to even meet with us too, you know. But yeah, it was. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's Black Panther, of course, but he's T'Challa. But also, he's just an amazing person, an amazing actor. I mean, that's just a cool dude to meet.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah. Well, cool. Thank you for sharing that. All right. I mean, I got a million questions that I wanted to ask. You filmed in New Orleans. It's amazing. The show's incredible. But I would be remiss not to get to the fans. I mean, the fans make this show. They make this world. So let's go ahead. We got some microphones in the room. First one's going to be right here.
Hi.
Hi. So my question is, since Cloak and Dagger features a black superhero and a female superhero as the two leads, what's your opinions on diversity in the film industry, but more specifically, superhero TV shows and films?
I think we're headed in the right direction, most definitely. Just, you know, because of, you know, we have Black Lightning now, which is not Marvel, but, you know, it's still a superhero show, and it's literally just based on a black family. And, you know, we have Black Panther and all, you know, all of these, you know, Captain Marvel is going to come soon. You know, it's all of these you know, really big projects that are including minorities and you know, more diverse people, and it's just going to be great for the younger generation to grow up in this kind of world where they see that, no, this is the new normal. Like, I can be anything I want, you know. So it's amazing. It's amazing to be a part of that, you know. So
yeah, and I mean, Aubrey and I talk about this actually quite frequently, like how interesting it is that our show is sort of that game changer in a way where, you know, not just within the superhero realm are we making a difference, you know, by shining a certain light on females and black culture, but we're also shining a light in other areas of, you know, the world and society as well. Like, black culture has been dehumanized for so long, and females have been minimized for so long as well. So the fact that we're actually sort of changing that in a sense is pretty epic. And I mean, game changer is the right word, I feel like, for this specific situation. Yeah, totally. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that question. We've got, one more? Okay, we're going to do one more. I've got right here is coming in.
Hi. So there's so many different Marvel television shows now. If you guys could, like your characters, if they can go to a different Marvel show for like a collab, which one would you want to be on?
All of them. No, we actually, well, Cloak and Dagger made an appearance in Runaways in the comics, right. And we've actually become pretty tight with the Runaways cast, and we're always begging Marvel. Yeah, every time that all of us are together, we're like, Marvel, please, we want to cross over. But I think that would make sense also because, you know, they're young, we're all, you know, vigilantes. We're just on the run and trying to figure out. We're all living in survival mode, trying to, you know, figure out this thing called life on top of having these superpowers. So I feel like that would make sense. Also,
it'd make the most sense, definitely.
Also, I know Spider-Man's a movie, but like, if he wants to come down to New Orleans and kick it with Cloak and Dagger, I'm cool with it.
Let us know.
Yeah,
you know, I'm just saying, it's there.
You don't have to knock. He can just step right on it.
Walk you wouldn't turn him away. Thank you for that question.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you guys so much. I know you got 5 million more things to run off to, so I'm going to let you get out of here. But I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't remind the world tonight is the night. Freeform, 8 o'clock. Guys, there are a ton of shows, but this is a really good one. So I know you're going to watch it. Just tell your friends to watch it, too, all right? Cloak and Dagger tonight, Freeform, 8 o'clock. Everybody, please, ridiculous amount of noise. Join me in thanking Aubrey and Olivia for being here. Come on now, Cloak and Dagger.